happen again when there's another
Bienvenidos al Rey
pandemic.
Studios. Bienvenidos al Rey
Well,
Studios.
first, we need
Tenemos
an
en
honest
pantalla en estos
reckoning
momentos
about
en
what
vivo
happened during
algo
COVID.
sin precedentes,
And the only
algo
honest
nuevo.
reckoning is
El
that all
gobernador
of
de
those
Florida, Ron DeSantis,
agencies,
está
all of the elites,
anunciando
the
su
public health
candidatura a la
establishment,
presidencia de los
they
Estados Unidos
failed.
y lo está haciendo
They
de una manera
instituted
diferente, lo está
bad
haciendo a través
policies.
de
Obviously,
Twitter,
it's a novel
lo está haciendo
virus,
a
but I
través
think
de
what happened
Elon
was
Musk.
when the
Si se
data
escucha mi
was
voz,
becoming
déjame
more and
saber en
more
los
apparent
comentarios.
that
Esto
the
es
path they
nuevo.
were on was
Les diré
wrong,
honestamente
they
porque llevo
doubled
varios
down
minutos
and wanted to do
viéndolo
it even more. And I
antes de
really
iniciar
believe
en
had
vivo.
Florida not just
Es
kind
un
of
desastre.
stood in the
No
way,
está
I think
quedando
this
bien.
country would have
No
had
hay
rolling
imagen
lockdowns
de
for
video.
probably a
Solamente por el
2-year
momento
period. And so
tenemos
their
audio porque lo
impulses
están
were
haciendo.
authoritarian.
Lo
They were
están
not
haciendo
following the
a través
data.
de
And I
Twitter
think the U.S.
Space.
government needs to
Vamos a
acknowledge
escuchar y a
the failures.
traducir
And I think
todo lo que
all
se
of
está
those
hablando, lo que
agencies
dice Ron
need to
DeSantis,
be
lo que
cleaned
dice Elon
out.
Musk.
What I
En pantalla
saw
aquí
just
ustedes
dealing
pueden
with
ver.
them was I
Aquí vamos a
saw
verlo aquí.
a interest in the
En pantalla
narrative
pueden ver
and in politics
que hay
over
muchas personas
evidence-based
mirando.
reasoning and
Hay miles de
evidence-based
miles de
medicine.
personas
And
mirando.
so I don't have
Está Elon
confidence
Musk,
that those
está Ron
agencies
DeSantis,
are up to
están
the
otras
task.
personas
And I
y
think you need major
personas que
overhaul of
están en
the
el mundo de la
whole
comunicación,
enchilada
incluyendo el Rey
with
Studios, está
respect
ahí, que me
to
pueden ver en
public health
Twitter.
in this country.
Vamos a escuchar esto y a traducirlo. Oh, y
So
tengo
can
que
I
decir,
follow up with
es
that?
un desastre.
I
No
mean, I
está
think
quedando muy bien porque tiene muchos
the other
errores.
thing that I
Yo no
saw
puedo
during the pandemic,
pausarlo
Governor, and
porque
you
es en vivo.
was subject to it
Y
just
no
as
hay
much as
forma
I
de
was
pausarlo
when
porque
we were
no hay
talking about
pausa.
COVID.
Vamos a darle.
YouTube censored a video of us speaking about in a roundtable that you hosted on COVID policy. There's so much of the federal government infrastructure went into suppressing honest scientific discussion during the pandemic.
Mucha
So
de
it's
la
not just
infraestructura del
public health
gobierno fue
agencies,
para
but other
silenciar
agencies inside the federal government that
algunos
work to suppress the
conocimientos
speech of Americans.
científicos
And I'd
sobre
love
el
to hear
No
your
COVID.
thoughts
question.
about.
No question. So I'm actually
Este es Ron
in
DeSantis
Florida.
ahora.
We recognize the danger there. So I'm actually going to be signing a digital bill of
Estamos
rights for Florida
reconociendo
pretty soon,
el daño.
which
Voy
will
a firmar
bar
un
all
bill
state and local government
que
officials
va
from
a prohibir
colluding or working
a los
with
oficiales
a
del gobierno
technology
que
company for the
trabajen con las
purpose of
compañías de
censorship of speech.
tecnología en la
Because you're
censura y el
exactly right. You had
discurso,
people in the
porque
White
tienes la
House, you had
razón,
people
tienes
in all these
personas
other
en la Casa
agencies
Blanca y en otras
working
agencias
with these platforms to
trabajando con
try to
estas
take it down. And oh, by
plataformas,
the way, what
tratando
did they
de
censor
suprimirlas.
Dr.
Y
Bhattacharya
lo
for? It
que
was a
querían
roundtable
suprimir
discussion that
al
I led and
doctor
convened. We had
sobre
Dr.
una
Bhattacharya,
discusión que yo hice
MD, PhD from Stanford. We had Martin Kaldor
con
from
profesores de la
Harvard
Universidad
Medical
de
School, and
Stanford,
we had Sunetra Gupta from Oxford, who was generally viewed as one of the best epidemiologists across the pond until she became anti-lockdown. So these are all eminent people.
son
And what are we
personas
discussing?
eminentes. ¿Y
We're
qué era
discussing
lo que
whether
estábamos
there's any
discutiendo?
scientific
Estábamos
basis to force a
discutiendo si
school
había
child to wear a
ciencia
mask for 8 hours a day. They all
que
agreed that
apoyara que un niño podía estar en una máscara por 8 horas al día en las escuelas. A esto me refiero. Se pausó. Esto es en Twitter. Por primera vez en la historia del planeta que un candidato presidencial va a anunciar su candidatura en Twitter y no hay video. Elon Musk, ¿dónde está el audio? ¿Dónde está el audio? Se pausó, pero eso ha estado pasando desde antes de yo iniciar en vivos. Desde antes de yo iniciar un en vivo, esto ha estado pasando. No se escucha ahora al gobernador de Florida, Ron DeSantis, pero no es solo una candidatura, un anuncio a la candidatura que están haciendo aquí, sino que también Elon Musk quiere promocionar ese espacio de Twitter para que las conversaciones grandes del mundo y especialmente de los Estados Unidos pasen a través de esta plataforma de Twitter. Volvió loco. Vamos a ver.
I think really unconstitutional actions by federal agencies.
Son acciones
Congressman Massey, I know
anticonstitucionales
that you've
por
been
agencias
involved in
federales
this problem of
que están
government agencies being
envueltos
weaponized
en el problema de
and
que las agencias
used
del gobierno
against the
se
American
están
people in an
usando como un
inappropriate
arma
way.
en contra de los
Do
americanos,
you have a
los
comment on this?
estadounidenses.
And
¿Tienes
do
algunos
you have a
comentarios
question for
sobre
Governor
esto?
DeSantis?
Es
Well,
una
first
pregunta
of
para
all,
el
let me
gobernador Ron
say
DeSantis.
a big thank you to Elon Musk for
Está
buying
hablando
Twitter and
alguien.
exposing all
Gracias
of
a Elon
this.
Musk por comprar Twitter y
On our
exponer todos estos
weaponization
problemas
committee, we wouldn't
de
know so much of it if he hadn't done
de
this
usar el gobierno
almost
como
as a
un arma.
public
No lo
service
hubiésemos
to the First
sabido si
Amendment.
Elon Musk no le había hecho
It's
un
a
servicio al
disturbing
público
trend.
de exponer
Government,
todos
as the
estos
governor
problemas.
said, the government is colluding with
El
big
gobierno,
corporations. We found out this week from an FBI whistleblower that Bank of America voluntarily gave names of and information on anybody who bought a hot dog in Washington, D.C. from January 5th to January 7th, and then
Bank of
overlaid
America
that
le
with
estaba
gun
dando
purchases
información al gobierno sobre todas las personas que
that they
compraron
had
un
on
hot dog en
record
Washington, D.C.
anywhere in the
Eso para
country
decir
for
que
any
están
period of
espiando a
time.
las
And just
personas.
they say they voluntarily gave that to the FBI. So that's disturbing to
Bank of
me.
America dijo que le dio
By the
esta
way, I've
información
never met Elon
voluntariamente
Musk,
al
but I'm one
FBI.
of your biggest
Nunca he
fans.
conocido a Elon
I'm the
Musk,
first
pero soy
congressman
uno
to
de tus
have a
grandes
Tesla.
fans.
I'm on
Esa
I'm on
besadera de
Starlink,
pero
and
tienen que
I would have
dejarlo.
bought a Powerwall, but I'm off the grid, and you wouldn't sell me one, so I had to make one with a Rex Model
Miren,
S.
este es el
It's
peor
been running our
anuncio
house for 5
presidencial.
years, but
Mal por Ron
my-
DeSantis.
my-
Mal por Ron
And just
DeSantis.
for the record,
Hablando de Ron
with
DeSantis ahora.
Thomas, our first year is in Congress. He's got the Tesla, but his license plate is Kentucky Coal. So it's he's probably one of the only people that have that in the country.
Thanks for outing me, Governor
Haciendo
DeSantis.
chistes.
But no, so Governor DeSantis, my question to you is, you served here in
Pregunta por Ron
Congress for
DeSantis.
6
Has
years
servido
with
aquí
me.
en el
And
Congreso por 6
why
años
is it that
conmigo. ¿Por
Congress
qué
is so
será
feckless
que el
at
Congreso
reining in
es
these
tan
government
malo
agencies? And
en
what
averiguar
do you
sobre
think we
estas
need to
agencias
do?
del gobierno? ¿Y qué
And
crees
if you were
que deberíamos de
president,
hacer si fueras el
what would
presidente?
you urge
¿Qué-
Congress, or what bills would you like to see
¿Cuáles
and sign
bills
to rein
te gustaría ver y
in
cuáles
this,
bills tú firmarías
sort of overreach of government
para
bureaucracy?
parar todo este
Well,
poder que tiene el
first, I
gobierno?
think there's a lot
Primero,
that the executive branch can do, and
creo
all
que
I
hay
would
mucho
say
que
when
las
it
ramas
comes
del
to these
Poder Ejecutivo
agencies,
puede hacer para parar
we'll
esas
go into
agencias
this a little bit
federales.
more as the campaign goes on.
Y podemos
but
ir
buckle
más
up
en
when I
detalles
get in
mientras
there,
la campaña
because
sigue.
the status quo is not acceptable.
Lo-
And we are going to make sure that we reconstitutionalize this government.
Vamos
And
a
these
asegurarnos
agencies
que
are
vamos a
totally out of control.
reconstitucional
There's
este
no
gobierno.
accountability, and we are going to bring that in a very big
No hay
way. Now, part of the
responsabilidad y
reason
vamos
it's
a
gotten
traer la
so bad,
responsabilidad en una gran
power has been
manera.
consolidated in effectively a fourth branch of government because Congress hasn't used its two main powers that
El
it has under
Congreso
the
no ha usado
Constitution.
sus dos
First,
principales
the power
poderes
of the
en la
purse.
Constitución.
If an agency is engaging in conduct that is
Si una agencia
outside the realm of
está
what is
haciendo
legal,
una
or you
conducta
think it's
fuera
not
del
good
rango
for
de
the
lo que es
public
legal
interest,
o que uno
then
no
you can
piensa que es
remove the
bueno para
funding
el interés
for
de
those
las personas,
operations.
uno puede
There's
remover
nothing
los
that
fondos
they're
para
not
esas
entitled to
operaciones.
get the same level of funding
Ellos
every
no
year, and yet
tienen el
Congress
derecho
runs
de
the government
conseguir
on
todos los
autopilot,
fondos.
either continuing resolutions or massive omnibus spending bills. So these agencies are all bulletproof. They know that they're going to
Estas
end up
agencias
getting
son a prueba
something
de balas
similar or
porque ellos
more every
saben
single year,
que van a
and
conseguir el
it
dinero
creates
o
an
más
incentive for
todos los
them
años
to
y eso
abuse their
crea
power.
un
The other
incentivo
thing
para que
you
ellos
can
usen su
do
poder.
is
La
actually
otra forma
legislate,
es
so you're not
actualmente hacer
delegating to the
legislaciones para
bureaucracy
que no le delegues
key
a la
issues
burocracia los
regarding how to
problemas
enforce
sobre
federal law.
cómo
You should
hacer
define
cumplir las
what you
leyes
want.
federales.
All they should be doing is
Lo que ellos
implementing.
deberían de hacer es
Instead,
implementar las
Congress will
leyes.
basically
En
give an
vez,
invitation for the bureaucracy
al
to
Congreso
make
le dan
really
una
important substantive
invitación para
decisions.
la
And so
burocracia,
Congress may never vote on something,
para que el
and
Congreso
the
nunca vote
bureaucracy will
sobre
cite a
algo
law
y la
from 20 years
burocracia
ago and do things that are going to transform our society
hagan
or our
cosas que no
country. That
transformen
is
a
not
nuestra
the way the
sociedad.
founding fathers
No es la
drew up the
forma que los
Constitution.
padres
So
de
would
la
you sign the
patria
REINS Act? We passed
escribieron
it
la
out of
Constitución.
Judiciary today.
Oh yeah, no,
You
of
would-
course, yeah, that's a no-brainer. That would, I think, be a great check for that. I also think that we're going to have a good chance to see some of the Chevron deference really curtailed or maybe even eliminated based on the U.S. Supreme Court's upcoming jurisprudence. And I think that's another reason why the bureaucracy has become so powerful, because courts have basically been told they can pretty much do what they want. And
La gente no
courts
se
are
va a
supposed to just
identificar con
defer.
eso.
I don't think that that's actually correct. I think the
Yo tengo
courts,
que hablar claro.
they have to make a judgment about
Un
what does the law
anuncio
actually
pésimo que está
say,
haciendo Ron
and you can't
DeSantis.
just defer to quote unquote
Eso debieron de
experts in the
hacerlo de mejor
bureaucracy.
manera,
Thank you.
hablándole al pueblo en una cámara,
All right, shifting gears, Governor, I want to
rostro a
ask you
rostro,
another
no un
topic that's been in the
podcast
news a lot
con unas
is
personas ahí
Disney.
que uno no sabe ni
They
quiénes son.
blamed you for
Vamos a seguir
canceling
escuchando.
plans for $1 billion investment in Florida. Said they were canceling 2,000 jobs. I saw other reports that suggested Disney was going to make the cuts anyway, and due to a larger, budget cutting initiative. Regardless of why they did it, why do you feel your fight with Disney remains important, considering you already beat them on the
¿Por qué
parental
crees que
rights bill that
Disney
they
se mantiene
opposed?
importante ya que tú
And
le ganaste?
what would you say to some of your opponents in this
¿Qué le
race
dirías a
who
algunos de tus
argue
oponentes
that
en
the
esta
fight has
carrera
dragged on too long?
So first of all, Florida
Primeramente,
stands for the protection of
la
children. We
Florida
believe
se mantiene
jamming
sobre la
gender
protección de los
ideology in
niños.
elementary school is wrong.
Creemos
Disney
que está
obviously
mal
supported
la
injecting
ideología de
gender
género en las
ideology in
escuelas.
elementary school. They did oppose our parents' rights legislation, and the fact is, when they opposed it, that was a big deal because
La
for
situación
50
es que cuando
years,
Disney se opuso a
anytime
nosotros
Disney
fue algo
wanted
grande,
something in Florida
porque
politics, they pretty much got it.
cada vez que
But not
Disney
this
quería algo
time.
en Florida,
I
ellos lo
signed the
obtuvieron,
bill.
pero ahora
We
firmé un
did, as
bill.
you say, win on the issue, but what happened
Lo que
was
pasó fue
Disney's posturing, some of the
que la
other statements that their
postura de
executives were making,
Disney
kind of the
y
corporate
de las
culture,
declaraciones
had
que estaban
really
haciendo sus
been outed
ejecutivos,
as trying to inject
eso trató de
matters of
inyectar
sex into the programming for the
cosas de
youth. And I think a lot
sexos
of
y
parents, including
una
me, look at that
programación
and
para
say
los
that's
jóvenes.
not appropriate. I mean, we want
Y
our
nosotros
kids to
debemos
be
de decir que
able
eso no es
to just be
apropiado.
kids, and
Nosotros
that's kind of
debemos
our
de ser
mantra. So
capaces de
you had
proteger los
this
niños.
setup that Disney engineered many decades ago,
Esto
where they
fue lo
actually
que
had their
hizo
own
Disney por
government
muchos
that they
años, controlar el
controlled with
gobierno
no accountability.
sin
They were exempt from the
responsabilidad.
laws that
Ellos
all their
estaban
competitors had to
fuera de la
follow,
ley.
massive tax breaks, and they
Les
even racked
daban
up
cortes de
municipal debt.
impuestos, lo que
And
hacía
Florida
muchas
basically put
deudas
them
para
on a
Florida.
pedestal many decades
Los
ago and
pusimos en un
joined the state
pedestal
with this
por
one
muchas
company at
décadas.
the hip. We just didn't feel that
Nosotros
we
no
were comfortable
no
maintaining
nos
that
sentíamos
relationship,
cómodos
and
manteniendo
so
esa
we
relación
ended
con
their
ellos.
self-governing
Eso,
status.
terminamos
So
su
Disney has
estatus
to
de
live under the same
autogobierno en
laws as
Florida
everybody.
y que
They
deben
got
de
to pay the
estar bajo
same
las
taxes
mismas
as
leyes que
everybody,
todo
and
el mundo
obviously
y que
they'll be
tienen que pagar los
responsible for
mismos
those
taxes que
debts.
todo el mundo
So
y que
the
tienen que
reason
ser
why
responsables
there's a
por sus
quote
deudas.
fight is
La
just
razón
because
que
they
hay una
filed a
pelea
lawsuit
es
against the
porque
state of
ellos
Florida,
siguieron una
trying
ley,
to get their
una
special
demanda
privileges
en contra de
reinstituted.
Florida para
But I
que
don't think that that's
les
good policy. And I
reinstituyamos
think some
su
of these
estatus
Republicans that
especial.
are taking Disney's side,
Creo que algunos de los
they're
republicanos que
basically
están
showing
tomando el
themselves
lado
to
de
be
Disney,
corporatists because these are all corporate goodies.
ellos son
This is
personas,
not the way you
políticos
would run a
corporativos.
competitive economy, and the arrangement had really outlived its usefulness, but it persisted because Disney was so politically powerful. I think the
Disney
company's
es tan
ethos have
políticamente
changed in a way that's
poderoso.
alienated a lot of people in our legislature and in Florida, and so there was really no justification to keep it. But make no
No había
mistake,
justificación para
they're
mantener
suing
estas
to
leyes
try to get
de Florida,
special privileges.
pero ellos están
People are
demandando
making
para
money in
mantener
Florida
sus
hand
privilegios
over fist
especiales.
because we have a great business climate. That's not good
Tenemos
enough for
un
them.
buen
They want to be
clima de
treated
negocios,
differently than
pero eso no es
Universal and
suficiente para
SeaWorld,
ellos.
and we
Ellos
don't think
quieren
that
ser
that's
tratados
appropriate. So,
diferentes y
I think
nosotros
that
no
they should
creemos
withdraw the
que eso
lawsuit, but
sea
obviously
apropiado
we're
y
going
yo
to
creo que
defend
ellos
our actions because we think we have the
deben de
right to do
retirar la
what we did.
demanda porque nosotros tenemos el
It's
derecho de
funny.
hacer lo que
The
hicimos.
media used to
Mira,
criticize
es bien
Republicans for being
chistoso
in the
que
pocket of big
las noticias
corporations, and
critiquen
now
a
they're
los
attacking you because
republicanos
you're not.
y ahora
Well,
las
not
noticias
only
están
that, David,
atacando
it's
porque tú no
interesting
estás
because the
apoyando estas
media in Florida
corporaciones.
for
Las noticias
years
en Florida por
had
muchos
hammered
años
Disney, and
le han
they
dado
would
duro
point
a
out like
Disney.
that this was not a good
Y hasta
arrangement, just so
ellos,
Disney was
hasta
not
las noticias en
accountable to
Florida
anyone. I
decían
mean,
que no era un buen
when the
trato.
state control board took over this district, the firefighters came to the board and they said, "Hey, we weren't getting survivor benefits for some of these widows." And so the state control board actually paid out some of the benefits that they were getting stiffed on. There were a lot of people in Central Florida who were really thankful that there was some accountability being brought to bear because, I mean, it's human nature. If there's no accountability over any individual or entity, of course, they're going to behave differently than if you have normal accountability. But the media was always very hostile to that. But just because I happen to be involved and bringing it back to reality and making sure that they were under the same laws, well, then all of a sudden they're running to Disney's defense. I mean, are you kidding me? And oh, by the way, on this project, they had announced this many years ago. They had not done anything for it, but that is actually not in Reedy Creek. So that was in a different part of Orlando. And so none of the issues
Ron
that are
DeSantis
involved in their suit would
está
have
cometiendo
made a
unos
difference
errores
there.
políticos
Obviously, as a publicly
capitales
traded corporation,
increíbles.
they have a fiduciary duty
Para
to do what's
empezar,
best for their shareholders.
este
So I'm
anuncio en
assuming
Twitter
if they were in better
Space
financial
de
shape
Ron
and they saw the
DeSantis
project
con
as lucrative, they would have
Elon
gone
Musk
forward with it. But I think
está
clearly
mal
they've had some
hecho,
problems
se
with their stock
interrumpe,
price and a
no
lot of
hay
other issues.
videos,
And I'd
solo
also just
audio.
finally
A las
point out,
personas les interesa el audio y el
nobody
video
probably
y la
has made Disney
reacción
more
de
money
un
than
político y
me
que tiene
because
que
they were
decir si
open
van a
during
votar
COVID
por
and they were
él.
closed
Por
in
otro lado, ahora
California.
él
And that
está
went
hablando,
on
lo
for
interrumpí
many, many
porque
months, where
en realidad él está hablando
literally
sobre
I
esa
had all the
batalla
theme
que él
parks in
escogió con
Florida
Disney.
opened in
Yo no
2020.
tengo que defender
People
a
are
Disney y
going,
todos
it's
sabemos lo
safe,
que
they're having
Disney está
fun,
haciendo con la
and the
programación de los
California
niños.
parks were
Pero el
closed. I think they were
problema
closed for
fue
over a
que
year
cuando Ron
out in
DeSantis pasó la
California.
ley
So
para
we
que los
were, I
padres
think, a
estén
much better
envueltos
place
en
to be
qué se le
doing business,
enseña a los
certainly
jóvenes
since
en
I've
las
been governor.
escuelas, Disney
Great.
los
Let me
criticó.
shift
Disney
gears
dijo,
here to the topic of education.
No estamos de
I wanna
acuerdo
quote
con la
Chris Rufo
decisión
in
de Ron DeSantis.
conversation. I know he worked with
Y
you
ya.
on some initiatives.
Nadie está de acuerdo
I
con
think, you know,
Disney,
one other
pero
thing
Disney tenía
that
el derecho
the
de decirlo,
mainstream media
porque
has
bajo la libre
math
expresión
on
y bajo la
is
no
they've
censura,
kind of
aunque las
started
personas
promoting this
odien a
narrative
Disney,
that you want to ban
algunos, no
books from
todos,
school
ellos
libraries,
tienen el
you
derecho de
refuse to
decirlos.
teach
Y por
kids
eso Ron
about
DeSantis fue detrás
slavery
de
or
ellos.
other
Y no le ha
unpleasant
salido
realities of
bien.
American
Ahí vi una
history,
persona, un
or
lambón.
pretend that gay people
Un
don't
lambón,
exist.
¿sabes cómo se dice lambón?
Since
Un
many people,
lambón.
I think, in this
Oh,
room, we're now up
tú le
to,
has ganado a
wow, over
Disney. Ron
271,000
DeSantis
people.
no le ha
So
ganado a Disney.
this is, I
Ron
think, totally
DeSantis dijo
unprecedented
ahí
in terms
que
of the
le
numbers of
pide a
people we have
Disney que retire
participating.
la demanda.
By the
Y
way, I
Disney
think
no la va a
Twitter's working much
retirar
better now.
su
I think it
demanda porque
crashed
Disney lo
because
está
when you
demandando por
multiply 500,000 people
persecución a
in a
una
room by an
compañía.
account with over
Entonces,
100
cuando
million
Ron DeSantis
followers,
dice,
which
oh,
is
hay
Elon's account, I
republicanos
think that
traicioneros que se van del lado de
just the
Disney,
scalability level that was
es que esos
unprecedented. But
republicanos
with my meager followership,
no
it
ven
seems to be
bien
working much better.
la persecución a una
Yeah, no,
compañía,
it's we have some
independientemente de si están
scaling
de
issues
acuerdo
specifically
o no.
related to my account.
Now,
At
hay otro
one
debate.
point in January,
Una compañía no
if I
está
tweeted
supuesta a
above a
tener
certain size,
más
it
poder
would
que un
crash the
gobierno.
service.
Yeah.
El gobierno debe de tener más
and then
poder
anyone else who was
que
tweeting
la
at the same
compañía.
time would lose their tweet as well.
Pero ¿qué pasa? Si Disney se
so-
le
So,
va
in
de
any
Florida,
event, yeah,
ellos
yeah.
no se van a ir porque hay mucho dinero de por medio. Pero si Disney se le va de Florida, se pierde mucho turismo, se pierden muchos empleos, se pierde mucho trabajo, se pierde mucho ingreso, que es la crítica que Donald Trump le dice a Ron DeSantis. También había una construcción que iba a traer muchos empleos a Disney, que no la van a hacer ahora por la pelea que tienen. Pero Disney, que tiene todos los abogados del mundo para defenderse, iban a traer trabajos de California, lo cual era costoso. Quizás ni siquiera lo iban a hacer, pero ahora tienen la excusa para decir, no lo vamos a hacer por Ron DeSantis. Y puede herirlo a él aquí en su candidatura a la presidencia de los Estados Unidos, la cual él hizo un anuncio que yo lo vi y yo pensaba que lo de hoy iba a tener video y que iba a ser algo bien y por eso quise hacer un en vivo, pero lo que veo es que es un total desastre. Y ahora, más adelante, voy a escuchar lo que dicen, pero más adelante voy a hablar sobre Elon Musk. ¿Qué tiene que ver Elon Musk con todo esto? No como ciudadano regular, sino como dueño de Twitter.
And so clearly that is not appropriate to be in a middle school classroom. And so parents object and the schools take them out. I did a press conference that we called Exposing the Book Ban Hoax. And before I had the parents come up, before I spoke, I just played the video that had the images of the books that the parents had objected being in their kids' classroom. And the local news had to cut the feed because they said it was too graphic. Well, if it's too graphic for the 6 o'clock news, how is it okay for a sixth grader or a fifth grader?
Ok, él dice que en los libros, en las escuelas, habían imágenes que eran muy gráficas que no se podían mostrar en las televisiones a las 6 de la tarde. Entonces, si es algo que no se puede mostrar en televisión a las 6 de la tarde, ¿qué busca eso en las escuelas donde los niños pequeños lo están viendo? Es lo correcto en hacer, en otras palabras, no vamos a poner a un niño de 6 años que va a la escuela.
We're also not going to be teaching people to hate their country, but what
No
we
le
are going to do
vamos
is
a enseñar a
teach
las
the
personas
accurate
que odien
history.
su país.
So in
Vamos
the
a
same
enseñar
bill that
la
banned
historia
critical
real
race theory,
del país.
we
Vamos a prohibir
required
la teoría de
teaching
critical
thoroughly
race,
about
raza
racial
crítica.
discrimination that occurred in American history, and Florida's history
Ok,
standards
no es solo
require
la
all of
prohibición
the
en las escuelas
subjects,
sobre qué se le
from
enseña a los niños
slavery,
de lo que tiene que ver
Reconstruction,
con el ámbito
segregation,
sexual,
all of that
sino
to
también
be
que se está
taught,
prohibiendo sobre qué se
and
dice en
we'll
las
continue
escuelas
to do
sobre
that.
critical
So I
race
think what you
theory,
see is
la
the
teoría
left
de
and the
raza
media
crítica,
colluding on this. They
porque
don't
hay
want to
teorías de que
actually
quieren enseñar una
defend
historia
what it
diferente
is
a los
that
jóvenes,
we are
que es la
actually
historia real,
legislating or regulating.
y la
So they create
enseñan
these
desde un
hoaxes that
marco que
somehow
puede
you don't
sonar
want kids to
racista
learn
y desde un
that
marco que puede
slavery
hacer
existed
más
in America,
división
which is
en el país, que
preposterous.
los negros
No
odien a los
one
blancos y que
actually
los blancos
defends
odien a los
the
negros.
offending
Él está diciendo
material.
que hay que
And the
enseñar la
question
historia
is,
de la
why
forma
are
que
there
es,
people
pero no
intent
enseñarles a los
on
niños a
trying
odiar
to
el
get
país.
this
Es
stuff
algo que puede
into the
pasar, que está
classroom?
pasando,
And I
que
think
están
it's part of
enseñándole
the
a los
political
niños
agenda.
como un
So
odio
our
desde
mantra
joven
in
en las
Florida
escuelas y
is
esto se
the purpose
quiere
of the
parar.
schools is
Todo lo que
education,
se hizo en las
not
escuelas,
indoctrination. Yes, I think it's
ok,
very
que se haga,
inappropriate
que los
to have
padres estén
sexually
envueltos
explicit
en qué se le enseña a
material
los
in a
niños.
fifth grade
Pero la pelea
library,
que él
100%.
quiso de
But it's
hacer
also the
con
case that
Ron
you're
Disney no le está
focusing
saliendo
on
muy
that
bien,
type
porque la
of
mayoría de
instruction.
republicanos no
There's
lo
an
están
opportunity
apoyando. Vamos a
cost
continuar.
involved. Why shouldn't we be doing more on science or
¿Por
reading
qué no
or
hacemos
math?
más sobre
And so I
ciencia,
think we're getting
lectura
it
o
right, and I
matemática?
think almost
Creo que en
invariably,
Florida
and
lo
Chris
estamos
Rufos had to
haciendo
deal with
muy
this too,
bien.
when they're trying to craft these narratives,
Cuando
you
quieren
just
hacer
peel
estas
back the onion, you
narrativas
realize
y quieren
that this is something they're
cortar la
manufacturing.
cebolla, es algo que están construyendo. Dios mío, qué dispa.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Elon Musk
I was
ahora.
actually under the impression that there were some books banned, so this is news to me.
And they actually, there was the one this week was that Miami-Dade County took a book that was about like
¿Cuántas personas están
poems
viendo?
from I think like Biden's inauguration, and they moved it
1 millón de
from
personas están
elementary school
escuchando.
library to middle
1
school
millón
library.
de
The media
personas están
tried to act
escuchando.
like somehow this is being banned.
Más,
You
porque
actually had
ustedes lo están viendo
Miami-Dade
a través
County
de mí.
Public Schools spokesperson have to come out and say there's nothing that's been banned or removed. It was basically just determined that this particular book was better suited for middle school. And so they put it in the middle school media center. And the media tries to act like somehow that is offending something with a book ban. So, but I think part of the reason that they're doing that is because, there is actually a movement to ban books from like Amazon and some of these others. California, some municipalities have banned things like To Kill a Mockingbird. What they're trying to do is see if some of these books pass a woke test. And if they don't, they are going against
Yo no
some of
estoy
those books.
traduciendo
Whereas
lo
in
que dice
Florida,
Ron
you can buy
DeSantis
whatever book
porque
you
él
want.
está
That's a
hablando.
different question than
No es
what would be
disparate lo que
appropriate for
está
a third
hablando,
grader or what
pero
would be
no
appropriate
es
for a
tan
sixth grader.
relevante para un
Government,
anuncio
by definition,
presidencial.
has to make those choices about what type of curriculum we want to put in front
La
of our
gente quiere
students. And the
saber
parents obviously have an
cómo los
important voice
van
in
a
that.
ayudar a conseguir trabajos,
Absolutely.
a
Well,
que
in
la
fact,
economía esté
a friend
bien
of
y
mine,
todo.
Tim
No
Oakland, who has a
simplemente
blog called
unas
Wait for
guerras
Wine, is
como
really
medias
one of the most reasonable
caprichosas.
people on earth and one of the most reasoned people I've ever
Elon
met.
Musk.
Had a lot of trouble actually publishing his book, simply because it
Hay
debated
personas que tienen problemas publicando
sort
sus
of
libros
sacred
simplemente
cows of woke ideology.
porque no tienen
But
la
incredibly
ideología
reasonable
woke.
book. So that is the kind of de facto book banning and de facto book suppression that I see quite a lot of. Is that publishers are unwilling to take risks.
Los publicistas no están dispuestos.
Let me shift gears here for a second because I know we're running out of time.
Vamos a cambiar el tema porque se nos está yendo el tiempo.
Pacific, but thank you for giving us a little bit extra
Está
time here,
hablando David
Governor.
Sachs, el
Shifting
host.
gears to a major federal issue,
Vamos a
immigration.
hablar sobre
We
un
see
problema
kind of,
federal, la
I've seen these
inmigración.
videos
Hemos visto sus
on
videos
social media
en
and
las
on
redes
TV
sociales,
of
en
what looks
televisión,
like just
donde
insanity at the border.
vemos
What is your take on
ese
what's going on
desastre
there,
en
and
las
how would you
fronteras. ¿Qué
address that
opinas de lo que
as
está pasando
president?
en la frontera y cómo tú
I'd
lidiarías con
reverse
eso?
what Biden's doing. You
Yo
need to shut the
reversaría lo
border
que
down.
Biden está
You should not be
haciendo.
entertaining
No
these asylum
deberíamos
claims for people
tener
crossing
estos
illegally.
reclamos de
Asylum
asilo
is a
cuando las personas
legitimate
están
thing, but
entrando
these are people
ilegalmente.
that
El
when they
asilo
come,
es un
they're
reclamo
being
legal, pero estas
persecuted.
personas
These
están
people coming
viniendo, mintiendo,
overwhelmingly
diciendo que
are
están siendo
economic migrants
perseguidas.
that are coming across many other different countries. They should be
Muchas
applying for
personas
asylum there if they
que
were,
vienen de otros países
truly
deberían de estar aplicando por asilo
qualifying
en
for
esos
that,
otros
but they're
países.
not. They know
Pero
that if they
no,
just show up at the southern
ellos
border,
saben
these
que
are
si
people
vienen a
all
la
over the
frontera,
world
son personas
that
en
are
todo
coming
el
illegally.
mundo que están
They know
viniendo
that they will get a sheet of
ilegalmente.
paper saying,
Ellos
okay,
saben que si
come
vienen,
back
les
for
dan
a
un
court date
papel
in
y
3
después les
years, and they
dicen,
get
ven
released to the
por un
interior of our
momento en la
country.
corte
It's an
en 3 años.
absolutely
Y se
insane
quedan
system.
ilegalmente en
So
nuestro
we'll
país.
stop
Es un
that. We
sistema
will move on day
absurdo de
one by
inmigración.
declaring a
El día
national
1,
emergency.
yo
We will
declararía
construct
una emergencia
a border
nacional.
wall. We
Vamos
will
a
make sure
construir
we have
el
remain in
muro
Mexico and that we're not
en la
entertaining
frontera con México
those
y no vamos
claims
a
in that
tener esos
way.
reclamos
And we
en esa
really need
forma.
to hold the Mexican drug cartels accountable
Vamos a
because
ser
they're
responsables de los
facilitating
carteles de las
a lot of
drogas de
this
México porque
migration.
están
They obviously
facilitando
make money
mucha
off of
esta
it. They treat
inmigración
a
en
lot
el
of these
cartel
people
y
very
hacen mucho
horribly
dinero y tratan a las
as they're
personas
trafficking them
mal.
through
Están
Mexico and into
traficando
the
con las
United
personas a
States.
través
And of
de México
course,
para entrar a los
cartels
Estados
have been
Unidos. Claro,
responsible for
los carteles
moving
son
massive
responsables
amounts
de
of
mover
fentanyl into this country, and that's
cantidades
killing
masivas de
tens of
fentanilo
thousands of
y eso
Americans
incluye y
every
está
year now.
matando
And what they're
miles
doing
de
is they
miles de
lace the
americanos
other
estadounidenses
types
al
of
año
drugs with the
y también,
fentanyl. So you may have like
también
a
traen otros
teenage kid
tipos de
doing something
drogas
they
que
probably shouldn't do,
los
but in
adolescentes los
prior
están
generations
haciendo.
would not have been fatal. And now if it's laced with fentanyl,
Ahora que
these
todas
kids
estas
can
drogas tienen
overdose and
fentanilo,
die. And
los
so
jóvenes están
mothers are
haciendo
losing
y le están
kids
dando
as a
sobredosis,
result
están
of this
muriendo, los
fentanyl
padres están
epidemic.
perdiendo
And
sus
I just
hijos
don't think you could allow
de esta pandemia
these criminal
y yo
organizations
no
to
voy a
continue
permitir
poisoning our population.
organizaciones
So it'll be a day one issue.
llenando la juventud y la
We will
sociedad.
bring
Vamos a
overwhelming
traer
amount of resources
una
to deal with it,
cantidad grande de
and we are going to
recursos para
stop
lidiar
this
con esto. Vamos
insanity
a
once and
pararlo.
for all.
Es algo loco de una vez por todas. Dale me gusta.
There's a, I think, follow-up question on immigration from Steve Dace, who is a national radio personality and I think an important commentator in the great state of Iowa. Steve, do you have a comment or question? I think you just need to unmute.
Ok, la voz de Ron DeSantis se escucha fuerte. Como quiera.
If Steve can unmute, then we'll go ahead and ask him for a question. If not,
Okay.
we'll keep rolling here.
Ellos,
3, 2, going, gone.
I'm there,
All right,
guys.
sorry.
ellos pararon de
Oh,
hablar.
there you
There
go.
he is.
All right.
Yeah,
Perdón, que
my bad.
escuchaba la voz de Ron DeSantis
First of
más
all,
que la
I
mía.
wanna echo what Congressman Massey said to Elon. Elon, if I put down money on January 1st, 2022, that Twitter was going to be the last bastion of free speech on earth, brother, I'd be about as rich as you are on that bet right now. I mean,
Hay
it's
mucho
incredible
lambón en
what you have done
ese
here,
chat.
and the restoration of a lot of accounts of people that were truth tellers and were ran from here for telling the truth. I saw a meme the other day that said, of course you have scientific consensus when you censor all the scientists who disagree. So I wanted to just say, first and foremost, on behalf of a lot of grateful people around the country and the world, really, thank you very much for that and the investment you made.
Él está
in that
diciendo
cause.
gracias
Thank
a
you.
Elon Musk por comprar a Twitter y
a question-
gracias por traer la libre expresión. Yo tengo que hablar sobre eso de Elon Musk y Twitter más adelante. Y ahora hay silencio, nadie está hablando porque no hay organización en este debate, podcast, anuncio presidencial. ¿Quién está hablando ahora? Nadie, solo yo. Ok, bien. Diré algo sobre Ron DeSantis y perdónenme que se escuchaba más la voz de Ron DeSantis que la mía. Yo quería escucharlo. Sucede que Elon Musk compró Twitter. Muy bien. La libre expresión, número 1. Ok. Pero ahora se sabe que Elon Musk es más conservador o republicano. No hay ningún problema con eso. Pero ahora él se fue del lado de Ron DeSantis. No hay problema con eso también. Elon
Number
Musk no está
two,
con Donald Trump,
I
está con Ron DeSantis.
understand the
Él tiene
different
todo el
leverage
derecho.
points
Está muy bien.
that you would have under Article 2 of the
Pero fuera
Constitution.
de
I
Donald
studied
Trump,
that a lot in becoming
imagínate
governor about Florida's
que
Constitution,
lo que está haciendo
doing the
Elon
same
Musk
thing
lo
for the
estuviera
federal
haciendo Jack.
Constitution. And you've got to
Jack
know how to
Dorsey es el
use your
fundador de
leverage
Twitter, es
to
demócrata,
advance
es
what you're trying
liberal.
to accomplish. So, for example,
Imagínate
there's
que
leverage
Jack
that we
Dorsey
can use
estuviera teniendo un
vis-a-vis
candidato
Mexico
demócrata
that I
dándole
think presidents
forma y
have
apoyándolo como
not been willing
patrocinador.
to
¿Qué van a
do.
decir
I
los
think sometimes
republicanos?
for
Que la
political
plataforma, que el
purposes,
dueño de la
but I'll look at,
plataforma se
okay,
fue
what
de un
are all
lado y no
the
es neutral.
variety of options we can do? Which
Ok, que
buttons
se
can I
trata de la libre
push? And I
expresión,
will do that
pero el
to
dueño de
be
la
able
plataforma debe de
to
ser
bring
neutral.
this
Él
issue
como
to a
persona puede
conclusion
ser lo que él
once and
quiera,
for
porque
all.
él está
We
ya
had
apoyando un
Hurricane
candidato, se
Ian
fue de
come
un lado
through
y él es el
Southwest
dueño de la
Florida,
plataforma. Yo
Category
simplemente lo
4 plus
menciono porque él es
storm,
el dueño de
September
la
of
plataforma.
2022,
Él
and it
como
did a
persona
lot of
tiene
damage.
derecho
And one
a
of the things
irse
it did,
por
it
donde
knocked out
él
a
quiera.
bridge going from the
Pero si
mainland to
fuera otra
Pine
persona
Island,
de
and
otro
it
partido,
severed the
se viera
Sanibel
mal.
Causeway in 3
Entonces,
different
don Elon
locations.
Musk
And the locals were being told it's
tiene
going to take
muchos
6 months
fans,
to get
personas
that
que lo
stuff
quieren y muchos
repaired. And so they
congresos, muchas
came to me,
personas
even though these were both
besándole su
state-owned
trasero,
bridges,
que es el
and they said,
mejor
"Can
y
you
todo
help
lo
us?"
demás,
And I said, "Okay,
se ve
I'll
un
do it." So I
poco
got my
raro
guys
la
together. I
óptica.
said,
Pueden
"Listen,
ser
no
criticados por esto
bureaucracy,
también.
no red
Vamos a
tape,
seguir
and no
escuchando a ver
excuses. Get
qué
it
dice.
done. We need to open these bridges back." Pine Island Bridge reopened 3 days later. Sanibel Causeway opened 2 weeks after that, way ahead of schedule, because we wouldn't take no for an answer, and we wanted to make sure we got it done. So for me, it is not a campaign slogan that you get in and then forget about it. I'm, as an American citizen, if I wasn't running, this would be an issue that
Se
bothers
escucha, Ron
me.
DeSantis.
I've put a lot
Escucha,
of my
déjame saber en
capital
los
as Florida
comentarios.
governor involved in combating illegal immigration. We banned sanctuary cities my first year. We just did a strong anti-illegal immigration bill in Florida that's working. I put marine assets in the Florida Keys to help the Coast Guard repel boats from places like Haiti. I have people at the southern border right now helping Texas, and we've even been able to relocate illegal aliens to places
ya
like
entendí.
Martha's Vineyard. So I don't think any governor has probably gone out of his way to do more to try to make an impact on this issue. And I'm not going to take no for an answer. And I think our voters are sick of the empty promises. They want to see action.
Thank you, Governor.
Well, Governor, I saw the cover of Time Magazine this week, and I think they
Ok,
were
se
trying to
escucha
do a
mi voz
negative story
ahora.
because
Hay un
they
problema
had-
con este en
you
vivo,
were
no
sort
es
of scowling
YouTube,
in this
es
portrait they made of you.
simplemente
And in the article, they call you
Twitter
they compared you
Space.
to the Terminator, and I think they meant insult,
Okay.
but I thought
All right.
it was kind of cool. I thought it was a good thing because I think we need a cool-headed, ruthless assassin to go in
Se escucha mi voz
and
ahora.
basically take on the woke mob,
Sucede
take on
que
our out-of-control
ellos
government,
hicieron ese anuncio,
and
es
take
como
on
un
problems
podcast
like
en
the
Twitter
ones at the
Space, que
border.
se puede
So
hablar,
again, I
una
thought it
buena
made you
plataforma,
sound great, even
pero
though
no
that
para
may
lo
not
que
have been
ellos
their
están
intention.
tratando de hacer aquí, un
Well,
anuncio
look, at the end of the
presidencial de
day,
Ron DeSantis
this
con
whole
Elon Musk.
business that we're in
Entonces,
is about producing
diré,
results.
no,
I don't
no
care
tengo los
about
controles
fanfare.
del
You know, I'm the
audio, sino que
governor,
ellos tienen
like
el
that
audio
is, I'm known,
predeterminado
right? And
ya,
I go around the state and
predeterminado, y no
everything.
puedo yo
And people are
controlarlo.
very
Por
nice.
eso
And so,
a
I mean, I
veces escuchan
appreciate the
ellos
well
más
wishes, but I don't
que
need
yo,
any
y
of
no
the
puedo
fanfare. I
bajarlo.
don't
Hay
need any
millones de personas
adulation.
viendo esto
I just
ahora
know I'm in
mismo.
a position where I have a chance to
Me
make a
dicen que baje el
difference,
audio de Twitter
and I'm either
Space.
doing it or I'm
No
not.
puedo
And I
bajarlo
remember sitting
porque
at the
ellos,
desk
no es
in
YouTube.
the state
Ellos
capitol my
no
first
les
day as
veo,
governor 4.5 years ago. I looked around
no
the
tienen
room
un
and I
volumen.
thought to myself, I don't know
Es
what SOB
simplemente el
is going to
audio de
succeed me
ellos
in this
y
chair,
punto.
but they are not going to have anything to
Entonces,
do because I'm getting all the meat off
a
the
mí no me
bone.
gusta cómo
I'm
va
going to
esto.
make sure that I'm leaning into issues
Lo
and
veo
making an impact. And
desorganizado.
we have done that in the state of
Elon Musk
Florida.
hablando, di
And
mi
I bring
opinión
that
sobre Elon
exact
Musk.
attitude up to
Elon
1600
Musk,
Pennsylvania Avenue.
¿se escucha el Space todavía?
Governor,
¿O
I'd
no?
love
¿Se
to
escucha?
to
¿O no se
jump in
escucha?
and
¿Se
follow up on
escuchan
that.
los
This
dos
is
o se
Chris
escucha mi
Rufo,
voz
and I've
solamente?
had the honor of working with you in the past few years on critical race theory, gender ideology, and the DEI bureaucracy. And what I've
Hello, ¿se
seen
escucha mi
up close and
voz o se escuchan
personal
los
is
dos?
that while
¿Se escucha
many
mi voz o se
conservative
escuchan los dos?
politicians going back decades have made headlines and got on television playing
¿Qué se
culture
escucha,
war,
mi
they
voz o
never
los
actually
dos?
get anything done. And what you've done over the last few years is really astonishing. You've eliminated CRT from all Florida's public institutions. You've stopped gender
¿En serio?
ideology dead
Okay.
in its tracks in K through 12.
Bueno,
And just last week, you
anuncio
eliminated
de
the
Ron
DEI bureaucracy in
DeSantis
all of Florida's public
aquí
universities. They'll be shut
ha
down
sido todo
completely.
un fracaso,
And I
en
think
mi
what you've done is
opinión.
established a blueprint
Escuchan
for
ambos
fighting
o se
back
escucha mi
against the
voz.
left's long march of the
Hasta la próxima.
institutions and making sure that those
Vamos a ver qué
institutions
dice
reflect the
Donald
value
Trump
of
sobre
Florida
esto.
voters, not left-wing activists and the partisan press. So my question for you is, DC is another animal. It's quite different, the scale of the federal government. And how are you going to deliver results? And what is your culture war strategy facing down the swamp in
Okay.
DC?
Well,
Gente del Rey
some of
Studios,
it
Ron DeSantis
is
hizo un anuncio en Twitter
similar in this
Space, lo cual
respect.
fue un
When
desastre
we're
total.
taking
A mí
on
no me
things
gustó
like
para nada porque no
DEI,
puedo bajarle
you
el
get
audio, no puedo
blowback from
controlarlo.
legacy
Y
media
nos
and the far
vemos
left.
hasta la
But
próxima, mi gente del Rey
that's
Studios.
an
Ron
example of
DeSantis
an issue where they are out of
inició
step with the
muy
vast
mal
majority of
esta
Americans.
campaña,
It's
mi
not just
gente del Rey
Republicans, it's
Studios.
independents and a lot of Democrats, because you think